And now we're shifting over to the showdown over the Vokkaliga and Lingayat reservations that has become a bone of contention between the Karnataka government and the Lingayat communities. Now, the Lingayats staged protests outside of State Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai's residence in Haveri district over the lack of clarity. Yesterday, protesters even burnt tires and blocked the Hubli to Haveri National Highway. Now, the Lingayat community will launch an indefinite protest in Bengaluru over their demand for reservations. Now, remember, in December last year, the Bommai government had decided to create new categories, namely 2C and 2D for both Lingayats and Vokkaligas. But on Thursday, the Karnataka High Court ordered an interim stay on the government's decision to create a separate category for Vokkaligas and Lingayats.
ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ತುಪ್ಪನ ಮೂಗು ಸರ್ವಿ ವಾಸನೆ ನೋಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಇವರು ಮೂಗಿನಲ್ಲಿ ವಾಸನೆ ನೋಡೋದು ಬೇಡ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಈ ಮೀಸಲಾತಿ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆ ಹಣೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಕಟ್ಟಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋದ್ರು ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಹೇಳೋದು. ತುಪ್ಪ ತಗೊಂಡು ಹಣೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಸರ್ವಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಸ್ಮೆಲ್ಲು ಬರಬಾರ್ದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ಇದು ಸರ್ಕಾರದ ದೋಖ. ಇದು ಈ ಸರ್ಕಾರದ ದೋಖದ ವ್ಯವಹಾರ. ಇದು ಇವತ್ತು ಆ ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿಯವರು ಅಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ಪಾದಯಾತ್ರೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಇಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ಗಡುವುಗಳನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಅವರಿಗೆ ಮಾತು ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಇವತ್ತು ಈ ರೀತಿಯ ನಡವಳಿಕೆ ಏನಿದೆ ಇದು ಈ ಸಮಾಜದಲ್ಲಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಹಲವಾರು ಸಮಾಜಗಳಿಗೆ ಮೀಸಲಾತಿ ಹೆಸರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಹೂ ಮುಡಿಸ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಹೊರಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ನನ್ನ ಅಭಿಪ್ರಾಯ.
Unfortunately, the government is trying to play around with the feelings of people. Instead of giving clear-cut explanation and instead of giving clarity on the issue, they purposely kept it ambiguous, and so that because they want to please everybody and fool everybody. All these things are very delicate issues, sensitive issues. That's why you should be very careful about what you do when you say and when you commit. There are so many legal ramifications, not just concerning Karnataka, across India, because their hopes have been raised so much, these communities, that their wishes will be fulfilled. So now obviously they are back on the streets.
ಬೊಮ್ಮಾಯಿ ಹೇಳಕತ್ತಾರ್ರಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ನಮಗೂ ಮನವೊಲಿಸಿಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ. ಆದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಮೋಸ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿವಿ. ಇವತ್ತು ನಾವು ನಿಜವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಮೋಸ ಹೋಗಿವಿ. ನಮಗೆ ಕಣ್ಣೀರು ಇವತ್ತು ಕಪ್ಪಾಗಿ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ನಮಗೆ ಮೋಸ ಮಾಡಿದಂತ ಬೊಮ್ಮಾಯಿ ಅವರ ನಿಮ್ಮದು ಶಾಪ ನಮ್ಮದು ಇದೆ. ಈ ಮತಕ್ಷೇತ್ರದಿಂದ ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನು ತೊಲಗಿಸಿದೆ.
We are crossing over to CNN News 18's Ritu to get us more details. Ritu, can you tell us about the indefinite stir that both of the communities have promised? And can you also tell us about what the state government is saying?
Well, you see, what the community, in fact, is saying is that almost more than 4 to 5 times the CM Basavaraj Bommai has given them a word about the reservation, but that really hasn't happened till date because it's a long-time debate from the Panchamasalis Lingayat community, which happens to be the powerful subsect of the Lingayat community here in the Karnataka. Now, you remember, in fact, almost 16% of the population here in Karnataka belongs from this particular community therein, and it plays a major role as well for the BJP, especially because during the elections, you see, there are more over the votes favored towards this party, and they're all that, with the high hopes that the community was actually going with. Therein, there hasn't been a word that has come out from the CM himself clearly as well, though during the cabinet meeting in the Belgavi session. And of course, that CM in fact came out to tell that there will be two new categories of the reservation that will be formed, additional categories in fact, because their whole demand has been to get added under the 2A reservation, where they can get 15% of the reservation, where right now they are getting 5%. So that has been the demand of the Panchamasali community therein. But of course, you see, with that cabinet meeting as well, the law minister did not come out clearly about how many % of reservation will be given, and more clarity, in fact, technically was not been provided to this community. And it's been a long time, almost 15 days, that this is still stuck over there, and the community has no clue about it. So therein, you see, there was a huge protest that we also got to witness yesterday in the CM Basavaraj Bommai's constituency, Shigaon, in Haveri district. And therein, you see, there's a call now that the Jayamrutyunjaya Swamiji, who is leading this whole protest, has given out a call saying that they will be continuing to protest at the Freedom Park in the Bengaluru. So today onwards, this continuous protest will be going on in Bengaluru. So there's a tremendous pressure that the community is trying to mount on the the state government so that they come out and declare them the 15% of reservation. But again, we'll have to see, because the Karnataka High Court has now in the interim order had stayed this order as well, because this exceeds the 50% of the cap, goes on almost to 56%. So there are technical scrutiny that it will have to undergo as well. But meanwhile, the backward commission report is also yet to be submitted completely to the state government. So there's a lot of technical challenges that the state government is facing. But meanwhile, you see the Panchamasali Lingayat community is up in arms, saying that they need their reservation and the demand has to be met by CM.
All right, Ritu, I also want to understand from you, how exactly is this going to impact both the political power when it comes to, because this is all coming out of the state elections that we're going to be seeing. How is this going to impact everything? Because we know how significant both of these communities are, especially when it comes to the vote.
Well, exactly. This is an interesting question, in fact, because you remember what took place in 1980s when Virendra Patil was the chief minister of the Karnataka. So yes, he was from the Congress party. So that was the Congress government who was actually ruling. And moreover, the Lingayat community was in favor of the Congress party back then when Virendra Patil was the chief minister. But again, if you can recall as well how the Rajiv Gandhi, in fact, had come down to Bangalore airport, and there he declared all suddenly that he will not be a CM anymore in the state because of the kind of riots that had taken place, and there was a huge criticism as well against the Congress party. So suddenly, in fact, removing Virendra Patil from his position was actually a backlash therein. We had also seen earlier there, because that was the exact time where this whole Lingayat community board chair, in fact, came to BJP. So that's the whole reason you see why Panchamasali Lingayat community again has been discussed in a huge manner, because this will actually affect the BJP in a huge manner as well in the upcoming assembly election. So yes, there and again we can say that the BJP government here in the Karnataka is actually in fix.
All right, Ritu, thank you so much for joining us and for giving us all of that significance when it comes to this. We have some breaking news.